What's up, Instigation Nation? Listen, I had a couple thoughts hit me and I wanted to share them with everybody. One is, there are a lot of people right now, as we speak, going about their day in a way that they would not do if it wasn't for the pay. So, is there something wrong with that? No, not necessarily. It's a practical response to life's demands. I mean, we all have them, right? So, but I did want to mention that understand you can do more. I can do more, right? So, yesterday, posted a couple videos. I promised to share this process with you and in front of you, good, bad, and ugly. And that's what I'm going to do. I find it easy to do as I'm driving around, and I'm not holding the phone, obviously, and putting other people's lives in danger. Anyway, so last night, great night, you know, a full day of work out in the field, and I'm in this kind of hybrid sales, client relation manager, president's liaison, whatever role for this for a medical company up in Michigan. And I'm being somewhat vague on that on purpose because I don't own everything about it, and so I'm not gonna put it all out there. Anyway, so last night after the full day of work, I worked on my YouTube channel. I went and bought a URL because I mentioned on yesterday's video, if you can find it, I think that one's called Instigation Nation with an exclamation point. In there, I said I don't even have a URL, and that reminded me, and so I figured the best way to go about that was to actually get one, and I like the ring of it. So I didn't know it was a word. My brother-in-law was actually over, and I was like, dude, I don't even think this is a word, instigation. And apparently it is. I Googled it. It's a definition. So if an instigator is one who brings something about or makes something happen, instigation is an act or event that makes the act of going about making something happen. So anyway, bought the URL, man, instigationnation.com. That'll be up and live soon. And excited about putting everything out through there. But the point is that with 4 kids, we took our nephew in because my brother-in-law, his wife is kind of ran down, and they're new. Is he a newborn? He's a few months old. Is he a year old? Man, I'm a terrible uncle. So yeah, they're all sick, right? So we take the nephew in, and that wasn't in the plans when yesterday got started. That wasn't in the plans when I said I'm gonna build my true life and I'm gonna take control and get out of the middle. It wasn't in the plan. And it would have been easy to say, dude, I'm trying to get a YouTube channel going and I'm downloading videos and I'm hungry, so where's dinner, and why is it so noisy, and why aren't the kids in bed on time? I don't think the kids even went to bed until 11 o'clock last night. Normally, my bottom 2 kids, 4 and 5 years old, they're in bed by 8 o'clock, right? 8:15. And I'm involved in that. Like, I do that. And I don't do everything else. My wife is amazing. But I'm sitting there, my stomach's growling. I'm uploading videos and learning how to use annotations. And this is the process that I'm learning about YouTube. And, oh, there goes the place I'm supposed to go. So much for being focused on driving. So, like, that's it, right? And I did that, and last night, I'm building my stamina back. I stayed up until 12:30 a.m. after working full-time, right? So, I pretty much worked from my full-time deal, which is, it's a 9-to-5er, right? And after that, I worked 5 to... I was working 5 to midnight, 12:30. It's another 7.5 hour day with interruptions, inconveniences, being hungry, didn't have dinner until 8:30. This is not a whining session. This is me sharing the process of what it's going to take for me to break out of the middle, because the market doesn't care. The universe does not care about the circumstances of the milieu of my life, the inconveniences that hit. It doesn't care. I either do it and get free, with the chance to get free, no guarantees, right? Or I don't do it and I stay in the job, giving control of my family's future and my destiny to someone who doesn't give a crap about me. And that's real. That person doesn't care about me, nor should they. It's not his responsibility to make sure that my family is taken care of for generations to come. So I can either put up with it and do something about it, like I'm putting in front of you that I'm gonna do, or I can just settle in for the long haul and hope and wish that the markets don't change and healthcare always reimburses all the same rates, so all the commissions are the same year in and year out, and nothing goes wrong with the client, and everybody involved takes care of the client as well as I would, because keeping a client happy and increasing revenue isn't the job of just the person in sales or the client relations person. It's the job of everybody. That client makes a supply order and doesn't get fulfilled because the secretary handed it off to some lackey who makes $9 an hour or $11 an hour, doesn't know me at all, and then they fulfill the order half-assed or 25% or half full. Like, I'm the one that gets hit when I go into the client. If you're a customer-facing person, you're the one that gets hit, not the lackey in the warehouse. And it is what it is. I've been the lackey in the warehouse. I'm not trying to disrespect that, but the bottom line is there's no skin in the game for that person. So all these things, my career and my family's future, are at the whim of. And that's real. I refuse to settle into that and let that be my reality. I refuse. The lack of security that I feel with a full-time job and needing that paycheck is outrageous. It's outrageous. It freaks me out. 76% of everyone who will ever watch this video ever, and right now that's probably 2.5 people, but it won't be forever, but 76% of Americans, people breathing oxygen in this country, if their paycheck didn't come next week, they are in devastation mode. Paycheck to paycheck. That's real. So no matter what anybody says or how anybody acts or how anybody looks or smells, 3 out of every 4 people are in serious trouble. I refuse to remain in that category. I refuse. So, in a day and age where people have gifts and talents and skills and they settle in for the employer's check because it's because of fears overriding their what they already know inside, it's crazy. It's nonsense. And I want to help inspire those who would have the moxie to get up and do something about it, because the history of our thousands of years on this planet, that's what I believe, by the way. Anyway, I'll let that go. So it has been bartering and entrepreneurship. That's what it's been. It's been making your own way, hunter-gatherer. Make that happen. It has only been ingrained in us in the last 100 years to go take your lunch pail to the factory and rely on that paycheck. Rely on that 40-hour work week, which actually came about, I'm not a history buff, but didn't Henry Ford pretty much create that with the assembly line? That's when that really began. That's a relatively new idea. And yet, everybody that is the generation before, the baby boomers, the higher end Gen Xers, even the Gen Xers my age, people are buying into that. And the worst is you millennials that are buying that shit from your parents. That's crazy. You're 22 years old and you are scared to death to do something because your parents told you to go to community college and they said if you don't go, we're not going to pay your effing iPhone bill. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? There's 14-year-old millionaires that are acting like crazy fools on Snapchat that are kicking your ass because you're scared about what your broke father and mother told you to do with community college, and you already know it's keeping everybody around you broke. You complain about it every day on Twitter that it ain't working for you. You bitch about the snow and driving into school and parking in the parking lot, and the boring teacher that doesn't give a crap about you or your family and doesn't know what they're talking about. I see your Twitter feeds, my friends. I love you, but you're crazy if you settle into that and stay with the opportunity that you have in this marketplace, with this world, with the internet, social media. You're nuts. I'm 37 years old. I learned how to use an annotation on YouTube last night. Shame on me that it took me so long. But I'm not scared to go take that step, because I know that God's got my back. When I take the move, when I make the move, when I do what I know is in my heart that is right, and still take care of my family during the day and do what I have to do for life's sake to pay my bills in a responsible way, man, I know it's gonna work out. I know it's gonna work out. Because if God's for me, who can possibly be against me? No employer, I can tell you that. And no parent, I can tell you that. There's no way. And you can have the same thing. You can do the same thing. And I can't even tell you how much fire it gives me and how much I was excited when I laid down at 12:30 last night to wake up again at 6:30 was this morning and get to the gym and give my body a workout so my mind could be strong when I started my day. And that's what today was. And that's what today is. I've made a few visits, visited clients, extinguished some fires that I didn't create, but that I'm responsible for, and I'm okay with that, because that's what leadership is. That's what hunger is. That's what the entrepreneur wants. Put it all right here. I can take it. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's a matter of, that's the life that I want. Because when I'm in control, not everything goes the right way. Not everything's perfect. But I can control my destiny, and I know that if there's something to be had, market to be had, money to be had, then I can go earn it, and my family's going to be much better off at the end. So hopefully this was somewhat inspiring. I'm stopping. I don't know, that rant caught me off guard. It probably caught you off guard. But the bottom line is this: you can do more. You can totally do more. And I don't care how old you are. There are great people to follow. There are great tools to dive into. And Instigation Nation is going to be your source for real talk, for tools, for inspiration. And I guarantee sometimes there's going to be stories that make you cry. And there's going to be other things that you're going to wholeheartedly disagree with what I'm saying. I want it all in the comments below. I want to interact. I want to engage. Because I agree that depth is more important in relationships than width. And that's what we're going for here. So do we want width? Do we want influence around the world? Of course. But one life radically changed, that like was done for me 9 years ago. It has implications on this planet's future and your life that we can't even measure. The ripple effect that goes throughout what one person did in my life 9.5 years ago, it cannot be measured. And that's why we exist. That's what we're going to do. So remember, dependency on slave money is a relatively new idea. There's always been slaves, but dependency on the W-2, it's a relatively new idea. And it's okay that it goes against everything that your middle surrounds you with and fills your head with. If there's something inside you that you know is bigger than the seat you're sitting in, or the road you're driving down, or the town you live in, you need to define it by asking yourself, what is it that I really, really love? What is it? What do I love more than anything else in the world? Answer it. It doesn't matter how silly it is. I love eating ice cream more than anything else in the world on a Saturday night overlooking the muddy river by my town. I love that. If that's what you love, define it, write it down, and then start exploring that. Because you can do what your true life is in your heart. You can live it. And if you pursue it and ask and drill down enough, you'll find it. You'll find it. It'll come up and you'll begin getting inspired and strengthened, and you won't need certain other escapisms to work out your life. You won't need those things. You're going to get enough fire and enough motivation and inspiration, and Instigation Nation is going to be here to help you do it. So if you haven't subscribed, we'd super appreciate it. We'd love you sharing this with anybody that could use it, anybody that you know needs maybe a kick in the pants, and that's what it's going to be. Please make comments below, or put your comments below, engage. We'd love to talk to you, hear your story, and until next time, Instigation Nation has your back. God bless you, and we love you. Bye.